Hey creators, how's it going? If you are new here, my name is Laura and I run the world's only business building community for travel creators who don't just want to create content but actually want to build a sustainable business. But in this episode, we are going to be talking about client wins and what's actually been working right now. And this is a reflection of April. So one of my services is actually one-on-one coaching with creators to help them figure out and set up their services and make an actual funnel and build an actual business. So with the advice of my producer, we want to try something a little bit different on this episode. Instead of me just talking to you about strategy, I actually want to pull back the curtain and give you insider info into what is happening in real time with my clients, because some of the best lessons I can teach you or show you aren't actually coming from me. They're coming from the people I'm working with. So buckle up for a little client win episode. I have two clients I'm going to be sharing about today, and they have two very different businesses, but there is a common thread running through both of them. And that is something that I want you to walk away with today when you are thinking about your own businesses. So let's get into it. So first up, I have a client who runs an outdoor adventure and coaching business, and she helps women get outside, like think backpacking, wilderness skills. But her target audience are women who are in a big corporate role, who are thinking about leaving that and they don't know what to do. They want to get outside. They don't know how. They maybe don't have a ton of experience doing outside things. So that's essentially her business in a nutshell. Right now, she's working on building her audience and filling virtual events. And she came to our last session and she was like, I have to be super honest. I am feeling really beat up about the content buzz. So she had graduated from the thought that we need to be posting content every single day a week. We got over that. And now she's like, I'm so far on the other side of that mindset that I don't feel like creating. And I was like, I get it. So she says she fell off the content bus and she was kind of like, I'm okay with that. And I actually really love that she said this out loud because it's so real. There is definitely guilt that comes with not posting and this feeling like you should be showing up and you're not. And it becomes like this whole spiral. So instead of piling like more content tasks on her plate or trying to coach her or tell her how to get over it and start posting, we actually worked backwards here. And I want you to take note on what we did because I know this is not a feeling that she's just having. So we focused on her warm leads over creating cold content. So she has a virtual event coming up and her instinct, like most all of us, if we have something new that we want to share about, was to go post about it, to make reels, to make stories, to write shit. And I was like, wait a minute. Before you do any of that, who already knows you? Who are you already talking to? Who's liked your posts, your stories, messaged you? Who's come to a past event? Who do you know in real life groups that exists that we want to invite them to this event? I think a lot of the times we forget about these people that we've already connected with because it's less exciting than getting out there and like posting and getting new strangers to come to our stuff. So instead of having her just create new content, I wanted her to focus on filling the seats in this event. And we're going to do that by working our warm network first. Okay, and little side story here, something that just happened to me that reminds me of this analogy. I have a really good friend who lives close to me, and she has like one open spot in her apartment, and she needed to fill it. And if you know anything about the Boston apartment hunting world, it is relentless. Like, to give you a little bit of context, I had to sign a lease in March to secure my lease starting in July. Like, it's kind of the worst. And so before she went out online and started, posting in Facebook groups, doing all of those things to find new roommates, she just asked her warm network first. Like, hey, do you know anyone who is moving to the area who might be a good fit? Okay, so same thing applies here. In real life, when we need help with things or we are doing something new, we tell the people we know first and we ask them before we post on the internet. And so I think we need to remember that the same thing can apply when we are doing things online. So the lesson here is that the warm network is almost always going to be your fastest path to getting butts in seat, to getting things sold out. So whether it's an event, a coaching call, a product launch, like whatever that thing is, start with your warm network. And the strategy is pretty simple. I want you to, I don't care what it looks like. It can be in your notes app, a Google Sheet, a handwritten list. I don't recommend that, but whatever you want, of people who have engaged with you recently, people from past events, people who've DM'd you. And then I want you to reach out personally to them and send them like a direct message. And it sounds super boring and it's not flashy and it's not beautiful and we're not creating anything like amazing, but it works. It works. The second thing we did is we gave her permission to not post. So she told me that being on Instagram is not feeling very good for her mental health right now. And I get it. And instead of fighting that and being like, okay, cool, then I need you to, figure out how to make it feel good, I just said, don't do it. So your Instagram can just be a billboard for now. The information is there. People can find you. The real work of getting people to this event is going to happen in conversations, not content. So I want you to hear that as well. Your Instagram existing is enough sometimes. You don't have to be performing on it every single week, especially if you have other ways to connect with people directly. And the third thing we talked about, which I'm most excited for her about, is Threads. Okay, I talk about Threads all the time with creators, business owners. I think everybody and their mom should be on Threads, to be honest, because you just can learn so much. You can learn so much. You can find the right people to connect to. We talked a lot about using Threads not to promote, but to ask questions. We want people talking about themselves. And so she is going to start posting questions that her ideal audience would want to answer. Things like, what's your craziest story from a solo hike? What's one thing you wish you knew before your first backpacking trip? I wasn't asking her to be salesy and pitch her stuff. However, there is, of course, great success that comes when you talk about your offers, but we're not there right now. That's not what we need. We just need to start sparking conversation. The reason Threads can be so valuable when you are putting together a product, a service, a business, figuring out what to post, what to share. People will answer your question, and in that answer, they're telling you exactly what they care about. They're basically self-identifying themselves as, this is what I care about and this is what I think. So it becomes so much easier for you to follow up in the DMs and start an actual conversation with them. And this is how warm leads turn into event attendees who turn into paying recurring revenue. Again, this is simple. I'm not saying it's easy. So the takeaway here is that before you make more content, I want you to think about who you already know and work your warm network. Okay, maybe Marie, you want to put in some music because we're going to transition to another client. Moving on to my next client here. So her business has been evolving in a really exciting way since we've been working together. So this client is a scuba diver, which is really fun and cool because I don't know anything about scuba diving. Frankly, it's none of my business what goes on in the ocean. So I helped her get really clear on what she's doing. And I was like, here's this template of these questions you can go and answer about getting really clear. And she came back and it was like 15 pages long. And I was like, wow, okay, the clarity is there, which is huge. Honestly, people don't realize how important having that clarity is. And what she got clear on is who she helps, what she does, why she does it differently. And what she landed on is that she's not just a travel coach. She's not just a life coach. It's basically like travel coaching and life coaching are shaking hands. And the idea is that travel isn't separate from life satisfaction. Her niche of who she really specifically wants to work with are divers because she's been diving for 20 years. And she wants to work with people who want to get scuba certified and don't know where to start, and long-term travelers who are divers trying to build their life around that. So this is incredibly niche, and the riches are in the niches, so I'm really excited for her. And this specificity is exactly what's going to make her marketing work because she knows exactly who she is talking to, but more importantly, she knows who she's not talking to. Okay, so what we focused on, again, was Threads. I had told her she has been brainstorming, and I set her up with ideas and strategies of how to do actual market research to figure out what people are asking. And I told her that Threads is going to be a great research tool, and then it's going to be a community tool as well. So we had spent a little bit of time going over like a small Threads strategy on what she could be sharing and just seeing what exists out there on Threads. And what's awesome, again, is that every question she asks is also market research. And I encouraged her to take these questions and answers that she has and put them in a document so that she can always have those there to refer back to when she wants to create content, when she's writing sales pages, when she's writing emails. Same with the first client. For this client, all of the answers people are telling you is actual insight into what her audience is struggling with and what questions they have and what they want to know and what they don't know. And then all of this can also become her FAQ topics, a lead magnet, an actual service. So she's not just guessing what people want to hear. The second thing we leaned into is credibility as an asset. So she's been diving for 20 years and she was actually certified when she was 10 years old, which is like insane. And I wanted her to talk about it more because I don't know about you, but I'm not getting in the water with someone who just became scuba certified. I'm so sorry. So we talked about how she needs to be leading with that, like constantly, not in a braggy way, just like this is who I am and this is the experience that I have. So she can mention this whenever she's replying to someone on Threads, responding to a question in a Facebook group. I want her credentials to be front and center. So for example, on Threads, like if she sees someone posting about, oh, should I get scuba certified with this program? She can respond and say, I have been certified for 20 years. So as someone who's been certified for 20 years is what I would recommend. A little side note here, I've been doing things like that on my Threads. And I noticed that people are following me from those replies. So someone will post something about travel content or monetizing their travel content, and I'll respond and say, I'm the girl on the other side of travel influencer marketing. Like, here's my advice or here's what I think. And people follow me from those kinds of posts. So just keep that in mind. Don't forget to flex your credibility because you worked hard for it. All right. The third thing we worked on with her is collecting leads before everything is perfect. So her website right now is in transition because when we first started working together, she thought she was really clear on one aspect of her business and then had a little awakening and decided that she wants to work more with divers since that's kind of her jam. So her Instagram hasn't fully pivoted yet. Her website hasn't fully pivoted yet. And the temptation here is to wait to do anything until those things are perfect. And we talked about how even a 2-sentence landing page that says like, this is what I do, here's what's coming, drop your email, is a great place to start capturing interest. So same thing goes for you here. You don't need a full website. You don't need the perfect whatever. You just need somewhere for people to land, to understand who you are and what you do, and a way to collect their information. Everything else can be built while you're in motion. So the takeaway, again, research is your content plan. Talk to people before you're ready, because getting ready is the thing that never freaking ends. Okay, so both of these clients are at a point where the temptation is to build more or create more or polish more. And I think that's just like a natural side effect of being a creator because that's the advice we've been fed for years. And there is that temptation to create and get things perfect before putting yourself out there. In both of these cases, with both of these clients, the actual move and strategy here is simple and less sexy than that. And I want them to talk to people who are already there, ask questions, and collect information because boring builds businesses. I say this all the time and I mean it every time because none of the stuff that we talk about in these one-on-one sessions is necessarily fun or beautiful. It is doing the boring stuff all the time. And I think that's where a lot of creators get stuck. I don't love that word, but maybe mentally stuck because they're creative people. You're a creative person and you have all of these ideas of like, oh, if I just do this, if I start this, if I start that. And actually you'll have amazing success if you can find one thing that you actually are loving and you stick to the bit and you commit to the bit and you do the boring work because it's boring. It's very boring to talk about the same thing over and over, to do the same thing all over again. That's why it's really hard for creative people to do that. But boring builds businesses. So if you are working on something right now or launching something or thinking about it, I want you to just do one thing for that this week. But I also want you to consider, is this an opportunity or is this a distraction? Is this actually going to help me hit my goal or is this just a distraction? So overall, I would just recommend reaching out to your warm network. That's kind of what I want you to take away from this. Your warm network is going to get you the leads, get you the business that you want. If you're in the same boat and things are feeling confusing, you don't know the next step to take to actually make your content creation business something sustainable and something that is going to last a long time and is something that can help you clearly define if something is an opportunity or a distraction, That's what these one-on-one coaching sessions are for. And right now I have open spots for one-on-one clients starting this month. So if that is you and you want information on what that looks like and how that could look for you, I need you to send me a message on Instagram at Travel Content Writing, because I'm a real human and I will let you know if this is going to be a good fit for you or if it is not. But that's all I have for you today. So happy creating. I will see you next week. And don't forget to go talk to your One Network. Bye. Just a reminder that you became a travel creator to travel, not to spend 12 hours in a cafe in Croatia, hunched over your laptop in total shrimp mode, wondering if your latest post is actually going to hit. Knowing how to create good content and knowing how to run a content creation business are two completely different skills, and absolutely nobody is talking about it. Well, except me. The Travel Creator Business Plan is the only business building community in the world for travel creators who want to move into business mode and not chase the next shot mode. Every month, you get one brand new business system delivered straight to the community. You also get monthly co-working sessions and Q&A sessions, as well as a private community of other travel creators who are building real businesses. Courtney, one of our members, says, "You achieved more with me in 4 to 6 weeks than I did in 6 months with other programs. You gave me permission to chase not only what lights me up, but a business roadmap that matches my goals, not some cookie cutter process." And Courtney, I love having you in there. So if you are a travel creator who is done learning how to be a creator and ready to learn how to be a business owner, the Travel Creator Business Plan is for you. I'd love to see you inside, and I will leave a link to join us below in the show notes. This podcast was produced by Your Girl Media.